Hello, happy holidays, and soon to be happy new year. My name is Ethan. I run June 1st, and I guess this second channel as well, May 3rd. And I just wanted to do a little bit of an end of year video and kind of talk about things that are going to be different in 2026. Because 2025, while on paper was definitely the most successful year June 1st has ever had, at the same time, too, it was a mentally challenging year for myself, and I realized that now I kind of want to take the channel into a slightly different direction, and I just kind of want to be completely transparent in where my head is at and what my thought process is and evolving what this is moving forward. To really expand on this, we have to go back to August of 2024. That is when I left my job as a full-time engineer to pursue this thing full-time. And I would say for the first 6 months, it was the best thing that I had ever done. Like, I was completely free of, having to put, time and energy obviously into my day job, because that comes first. My livelihood comes first. And I was able to have like a completely 100% career-focused mindset on June 1st, and I was able to make great content, improve my skills in that sense, and really build the channel. Since leaving my job and, to where the channel is now, it's grown nearly 3 times the size, almost 4 times the size of what it was back then. And that's incredible. It's incredible that so many eyes are on this project, and it's really cool to see the support that it has garnered over that span of time. Around the storm season, though, of this past year, 2025, there was a little bit of a shift with myself personally. Now, I've said multiple times that I'm not a full-time storm chaser, but what happened was, at least what I found in my experience, was it started taking the fun out of storm chasing for me, because now like this was like a complete business venture. So if I wasn't succeeding at chasing, it really kind of put me in a darker mindset, and I started pushing myself a lot more in that respect. And while I had great successes this year, some of the failures really ate away at me, which, I mean, I guess is normal human nature, but I think it just was a sting that I hadn't been used to, because it was both a business failure and like a personal failure in a sense. So that really started kind of messing with my mindset. And then in the later season, when I had already returned from the plains back to the East Coast, there were a number of notable tornado events that I missed that really kind of gave me really strong sense of FOMO. And I'm going to be 100% honest, there were moments where I was really jealous of, the ability that other people had to see cool things. And I felt like I was failing myself, and the goal of this project. Like, I wanted to do like really cool chasing videos as well as my usual content, because honestly, like, I wanted to have that, breadth of, full scope of type of content that I can work with. And I want to be more than just a guy behind a desk, researching and like putting together graphics and stuff like that. Like, as someone that like wants to as someone that likes doing filmmaking, I want to be using a camera a lot more than what I'm doing, analysis-wise, right? So that aspect like really ate away at me. And then I just started kind of falling into a rhythm of just doing things that I knew would succeed or like have algorithmic traction. And I just realized that there was so much of like what I wanted to do that I was no longer pursuing, just because of the fact I knew I had to make a video that would perform well in order that I can pay my rent, pay my bills, do all that type of thing, right? So June 1st quickly became more and more like a job, obviously. And of course, there's all the other aspects of, being a sole business owner, and the fact that, you're doing all your own bookkeeping, you're doing all these kind of menial things behind the scenes that is not hard, but it is taxing, and it's, taking away energy from the actual passion of the work. And more I realize that I'm kind of going down this path where it's sucking the fun out of it for me, which I guess in a way there's still moments that I really love. Like I love making videos. I love the process of making videos, but I also want to make videos that are extremely meaningful to me, and I don't want to have to worry about, their performance and how they're going to be received by an audience, and to how to make them, because like I want to there are projects that I want to do that I know aren't going to perform well. Like I want to talk about more obscure types of weather events. I want to make little films, travel more, and do all this type of stuff. And the success of the channel, while yes, it was successful in a sense and I was able to pay my bills, I also wasn't able to scale up the way that I thought I could scale up and do much more bombastic and bigger visioned projects that I had my mind set on from day one. So while this year was incredible, the channel grew immensely, I think I completely overestimated the success that I could have doing this full time in the span of these past, almost 18 months. And kind of setting that bar too high in a sense might have allowed my expectations to kind of be there. And when I'm not making those expectations, there's obviously that gap where you kind of feel defeated in a sense. That isn't to take away from what I've built already. Like I'm really proud of the catalog that I have built in this time. But at the same time too, I thought I could be much further along. And what this means moving forward, this ultimately, is that I think I'm going to drastically scale back what I'm doing. And I've been kind of doing this over the past couple of months where, I was uploading once every 2 to 3 weeks. I'm cutting back to probably more, probably just start the past couple of months have been like a monthly basis. So it's going to be, probably another couple months of doing it on a monthly basis. And then it's going to probably scale back even more from there, which obviously, as an audience member, I guess, or if you're a fan of the channel, you don't want to hear that there's going to be less content, right? Like, if anything, you'd want to hear that there's going to be more content. But I think the type of content I'm going to be making moving forward is going to be a lot more meaningful. At least that's the goal that I have. And much more involved, much more thought behind it, and bigger style productions that I can kind of really take a vested interest in and not have to worry about the performance aspect. So ultimately, I think I'm going to regress and step back from doing this as a full-time venture, because there's also aspects in my personal life that, I want to really be mindful of as well. There's things in my personal life that need attention, and, I'm getting a little bit older, and, there's things that I want to do beyond just like the career aspect of my life. There's personal goals that I also want to achieve, and there's things that you physically cannot do as like a business owner, as like a, you're trying to do this thing as a content creator, whatever. Like if you're just go career mode, which I have been over the past year, you start putting other things on the sideline, which is detrimental to all other aspects of your life. And that's also another reason why I'm not a full-time storm chaser, because I want to have a personal life. I want to have these other things. I want to, be able to go on vacations. I want to be able to, hang out with family, friends, and all that type of thing. I don't want to sacrifice that part of my life. So all of these different things are just kind of culminated into me deciding to scale back June 1st a bit going into 2026, which is difficult to say. But I think the end result is going to be content that's a lot more meaningful to me. And if it's a lot more meaningful to me, then I know it'll translate better. I'll be much more passionate about each piece that I'm working on. And then I think it's going to ultimately result in videos that are much longer. So more documentary style videos, obviously the more YouTube format that I do is 10 to 15 minutes. I'm talking videos that are going to be the 30 to 45 minute range. Definitely a lot more produced. And because of that, and I'm deciding to kind of scale back, doing this as a full-time thing, the upload schedule is obviously going to be more of a multi-month type thing. But when there's a release, it's going to be a big drop. So I just wanted to come out and talk about this a little bit more with some clarity, because I kind of teased at this a little bit over the past, couple of live streams that I've done recently, as well as, I've made a post calling the next chapter, which kind of like was it was definitely a much more emotional response of a video. But I kind of go into a little bit more depth there in terms of like how I personally feel. And that's all to say that I'm really happy with what I've done in the time that I've approached this at a full-time venture. And I think maybe there will be another point down the road where I can do that again. But right now, I think I just need to focus on other aspects in my life, as June 1st really kind of consumed so much of me over this past year. And I can't let that happen for the sake of my own personal life and the people around me. Hopefully that all makes sense, and in the coming months you'll kind of see some of the stuff that comes out. I'm really excited to work on some other types of projects. There's one that's been in the works now for several months that I'm really excited about. That'll come out probably in the middle of the year, if I have to guess. That'll be unlike anything that I've done previous. It's involving a couple of collaborations as well, which is really exciting. So with all that said, I hope 2025 was a great year for you, and here's to an even better 2026. Thank you again, and as always, stay safe out there when it comes to severe weather.